For anyone who doesn't know, Project Zomboid, I'm a big fan of survival games of all kinds. We played a bunch of them on this channel. It might be my favorite, second, third favorite genre. It's way up there. I think open world RPGs is probably my absolute favorite, but survival games are a very close second or third favorite genre. I play a boatload of them. We played everything from DayZ to, shooter style games that have some survival mechanics like, Escape from Tarkov, to games like full survival games like The Forest, and of course, the wonderful, most played survival game of my recent years, Project Zomboid. We've been playing this game an absolute boatload, and everyone has been waiting for the big update, Build 42. Build 42 is the one that everyone's been waiting for. This is one that brings animal husbandry, blacksmithing, new crafting, 2 new towns, all kinds of stuff. But guys, it is officially live. Officially live. We're going to cover in this video the update. We're also going to cover how to use the update, how to actually be able to use it, because it's not just download and play. It is a little bit of a different process, not too much of a complicated one. Very, very easy to do. I've already done it, and I can demonstrate on stream right now how to do it. So we'll start with that, actually. So here we go. You go to your library. First of all, how to install the update and be able to play it. You go to Project Zomboid. I am an addict of video games, so I have like 50,000 different games installed. I do apologize. You go to Properties. You go to Betas. And then you right now, normally this would be empty. There would be nothing here if you're playing normal Project Zomboid. And you can go to like previous versions for rollbacks, but what you would do is go to unstable-backup first, because you want to back up your save files. And that's all you need to do. You do that, it'll re-download the entire game because it's downloading the beta and swapping over to the beta version. And then you're in. You press play, and then you're able to play the update. That is it. That is all you have to do. Apparently, it's going to be a little buggy and everything like that, so, don't be too worried if that happens. But it is officially able to be played. And so, basically, they gave you a little... Okay, so if you go to the Steam page for Project Zomboid, you'll be able to find all this information as well. I just demonstrated, but that is how you can do it. So what is in the update? This update is huge. Expanded map, new towns and locations. They added one new spawn point called Echo Creek, Echo River, Echo something. And they added another one you can get to by traveling all the way down. It's on the bottom left of the entire map. On the top left of the map is where the new spawn point is. Still no spawn point, by the way, for Louisville, which is sad, but you can still easily add it with a mod. That some modder will probably add a Louisville spawn point like immediately in the next 24 hours. Don't worry about it. They added new underground areas, basements, and high rises. We're going to be demonstrating that as soon as we're able to play it tomorrow, so get ready for that. But randomly spawning will be basements and high-rise buildings. High-rise buildings, I think those are like, automatically spawned, just like every normal building on the map. But as soon as you go into a building, it has, I think, a random chance to have a basement. And when it has a basement, the basement is procedurally generated. So you can just go down and it'll be a little basement, just like you have in real life. Random items in there. You can find wood in there. You can find all kinds of tools and stuff, and so on and so forth. The high-rise buildings I've heard look really cool. Exactly, yep. I've not seen them myself yet. I've not played this update at all. I'm just covering what I know is in there and what I'm most excited about. Performance optimization. The performance optimization is, according to a lot of people, really, really, really good. So basically, whatever would give you, having 1,000 zombies on the map, you slow down to, like, say, let's just give an arbitrary number, 5 FPS. Now you will only slow down to like 10 FPS, which doesn't sound like much, but that is still really, really good optimization, and a huge upgrade from what it used to be. Basically, if you had 1,000 zombies on the map, you're playing on times 16 insane spawns for zombies, which is one of my favorite ways to play. At some point, if you have too many zombies on the map, it was borderline unplayable. Still really fun to do, but you would have to, cull the zombies in order to be able to see your character at higher than 10 FPS. So they made that a lot better, which is very, very big. The new lighting system, darker nights, but also dynamic lighting. Now, they've shown a little bit of this. I don't know. Are they going to show this in here? Not really. But I was hoping, I didn't know if they're going to show like actual pictures or not. But the dynamic lighting is really cool. I've seen little GIFs that the devs have shared on like Twitter and other sites that they post stuff on their forums and everything like that. The dynamic lighting is awesome. The dynamic lighting does include, oops, sorry about that. That's my computer. Support assist is idiotic. There you go. Dynamic lighting is not only, base lighting, it is also lamps. It is also dynamic lighting like, the big glowing signs in windows and everything like that. And it'll have dynamic lighting in color as well. Red dynamic lighting, if there's a red lamp or whatever, it'll have like a red aura around it and everything. Looks super clean, super well made. And the nights are much darker now. So they demonstrated what you might really need to do now is have a lighter or have a backup source, a flashlight nowadays, and using a one-handed weapon or whatever, to be able to handle the nighttime. They made it a lot more spooky. Next thing, animal husbandry. They added cows, pigs, sheep, and chickens. And they have an entire skill set for being able to raise the cows, pigs, sheep, chickens, and be able to farm them for meat and materials and so on, and all kinds of stuff. What they also added though was wild animals. They added wild animals, deer, rabbits, and rats, and also they added an entire new skill for tracking animals. It works through the search bar, kind of like foraging, but you're finding, droppings and tracks and so on, and then you'll be able to find, a deer or whatever, and be able to hunt them, and be able to get, animal fibers and skins, and of course meat to cook. So they absolutely added a boatload of nuance and being able to add a lot of survival gameplay for not just going around the cities foraging. Now you can do a full wilderness playthrough and so on. They also completely changed the fishing mechanic. So for anyone who's played Project Zomboid, fishing used to be a completely AFK activity. It is no longer an AFK activity. It now has a little mini game. It kind of reminds me a little bit of the Stardew Valley mini game. And also you need a hook, you need line, and you need a fishing pole. No more free spear fishing, which is sad because spear fishing was completely and utterly overpowered. But I'm actually okay with this because it was overpowered. I don't mind them changing it into something that is a little bit more, I guess, like harder to cheese. It's still cheesable, probably going to be, but it definitely seems like it's going to be less cheesable. In my opinion, completely good thing. Also, there's little fishing areas on the map. So you'll find little bubbles on the map, on the gameplay screen of like what looks like a little circle with little bubbles coming out. That's like a spot where fish are sure to be. You can aim where the line goes and all of that. They've demonstrated that. It looks super cool. Fishing is one of my favorite things to do in other games. New World's fishing was dope. Stardew Valley's fishing and everything like that. And this is like, has some similar flair. Very, very cool. And I haven't played it yet, but from what I've seen, it looks like it works very well. I did hear, though, from other beta testers, Private Lime and several other people that are big YouTube content creators. I'm not one of them. They got early access to the beta. And they did say that fishing is a little underpowered. So, you do like a 2-minute reeling for trying to get a fish, and it's like a little 9 hunger crappy instead of like, you know, being something like a 20-pound catfish or whatever. Which sucks, but that is a knob that they can easily fix to make it more worth it. That is okay. Beyond that, really cool expanded lore. They added things that you can read. Now, when you pick up newspapers and flyers, you can actually read them. It'll bring up a little graphic. It'll have some like, you know, little mini storylines that they have in there and so on and so forth, which is really nice. It's not no longer just random little sentences on the maps. It's much more than that now, which is great. I love the world building in this game. They updated that. They made that a lot better. I'm super happy about that. I've seen examples of that. They look super cool, really, really cleanly done. They also added new TV and new radio. I have not seen any of that, so I do not know what the new lore is or anything like that. Obviously, I wouldn't spoil it for you if I did, but I've just not even seen it, so I can't tell you the quality of that, if it's good or not. I'm sure it is. Everything else has been great, so I have no doubt it'll be good. New build menu. The new build menu is really clean. It's also tells you everything you need for every recipe except for those that you unlock by reading magazines or you find in the world or whatever. So if you get something from Tailoring 5, you'll be able to scroll down the build menu and it'll tell you that you need Tailoring 5 and it'll tell you what items you need to make the thing, which is really nice. So no longer do you have to guess. You have to go to, you know, Alt Tab and go to the wiki or anything like that. They basically made it a lot more user friendly, and thank goodness for that. Definitely something about me in any game. I think of it as a personal failing, not in a bad way, but something that could be improved for any game. That if you need to Alt Tab to wiki or Alt Tab out of the game for any reason, look it up online, I consider that a failing of the game. So the fact that they changed that in Project Zomboid to have all this information readily available at your fingertips at any time is a huge user-friendly update. Big good on them. Okay, so next one, initial crafting, surface crafting, pottery, blacksmith, tech trees. So I've not really seen too much of this. I just know that it exists. You can now do blacksmithing. You can make a grindstone. You can sharpen your weapons. I think they changed the durability system a little bit for that to make it more, you know, necessary to do that. I have no idea how pottery works. New UIs. The UIs look clean. I've just seen some pictures of the UIs. They look great. Very user-friendly. Clear information. Nothing hidden. All good stuff. Improved agriculture and crops. This is very nice. Before, you used to only have like, what is it, like 6-7 crops? You'd have tomatoes, you'd have, I think, carrots, you'd have potatoes, cabbage. Potatoes and cabbage is what everyone used. And there was like a, you know, just a few others. Now you have like 30 odd different crops already, and they said that they're going to be adding more. So you have an absolute boatload of crops, everything from like the herbs like sage and tarragon and all those, but also you have like, you know, tomatoes you can already grow. You have like a whole bunch of other different vegetables and fruits and stuff that you never had previously, which is really nice. They also updated the agriculture stuff a little bit. You can also have wheat, and wheat will go into the animal husbandry. You can basically farm wheat to feed your cows, pigs, sheep, and chickens, and so on. Huge, I guess, what is it, like cooperative play with it, and also of course a new you know, skill set for that as well. Also they did change a balance update for this. So before, you could have, you know, in November, you could put in a whole bunch of crops, and by December, January, during the winter, all your crops would be totally good to go, and, you know, it'd be free money and free food. You can no longer do that. If you try to farm in the wrong season, it will kill your crop. So you can no longer do that. I think that is, I like that because it's much more, what's it called, realistic. And I'm a big fan of that. I think the realism that Project Zomboid gives is one of my favorite parts of this game. That's why it's such a standout, fantastic, wonderful survival game. And going more into that is even better. Dynamic music. I heard the music is super good. I didn't realize I could make this bigger. Whoopsies. We're going to make this bigger so we can look at it in a nicer detail. Dynamic music is very, very nice, I heard. I have not played it. I've not heard it. I want to do it first play, fully blind with you all tomorrow. So I'm excited to check it out, but I heard that they added a lot more music, and they added, like, music that happens for certain events as well. The player vocals, now when you create your character, you can also choose from a set of vocals. And the vocals will play when you do certain things, like when you yell and do the whisper yell and so on. And you can change, you have, I think, was it like several different voices they can choose from for male and female, but you can also change the pitch. So it'll give you more choices as well. For, I think, like, if you combine the choices of the pitch and the voice types, I think it's like 25 odd different voices, maybe more. So they added a considerable amount of customization for your character, which is really, really cool. Of course, with all the new crafting comes new clothes, containers, weapons, and world objects. So you can make all kinds of new weapons. There's a lot of bone weapons that they added, bone knives, bone hammers, and cudgels and stuff. Of course, blacksmithing. You can make iron swords and all kinds of things that were, one thing that you'll find is a lot of the stuff that were in the most popular mods for Project Zomboid are now in the base game. They wanted to basically be able to put all of that stuff that you would normally need to download a mod for, and they just put it into the game, which is really cool. Now we can all play the same game, which is really, really nice. Better UI scaling. This is actually specifically made for people that have higher resolution than 1080. So if you had a 1440p monitor, basically the game would be super small. You have to manually change it. It was a pain in the ass. And a lot of times you'd have to download a mod to fix it. No longer. Everything, I think, up through 1440p is user friendly. And so they've made the UI scaling much, much better for that. I have no idea how it looks, but apparently it's, one of the content creators that I saw that gave some information and background on this, that was able to play the early content creator beta that I didn't get. They were able to play it on their 1440p monitor just fine, where they had issues beforehand. So if this is if you're one of those people, this is really good for you. Randomized wilderness and biomes, new grass. You can actually, the grass is interactable. You can shred the grass to feed your cows, pigs, and sheep. So this kind of goes with the animal husbandry a little bit. The randomized wilderness and biomes, no idea about this. So we're going to find out about that together. No clue. The basic tracking and hunting, I talked about this earlier, but this is with the wild animals. There's an entire little skill that is similar to the search function. I think it's used by the same search function, if I'm not mistaken. And you can track animals, again, with their droppings and tracks and so on and so forth, and find a deer or a rabbit or whatever and hunt them, usually with a gun. I think I don't know if they've added crossbows. I'm not sure, but that's a big thing. Huge update, the gunplay. The gunplay is a big, big update. Basically, it was down to a meta beforehand. Anyone who knows a lot of Zomboid knows this. So there's two types of Zomboid players in terms of, familiarity with the game. First, it's the person that'll pick up the gun and never use it, because guns are deadly in the game. If you're not familiar with how they work, and they'll just wait for a very long time or never use it, and basically never interact with the system. Or you go the meta, which is using shotguns until like aiming 5, 6. Then you can pull out pistols and use pistols for a while. And then you can only use like the really cool gun, the M16 or whatever, only at the very, very highest tiers of aiming. And by then you've pretty much solved the game anyways. And those are the only two types of players for guns in Project Zomboid. They changed the aiming to be a lot more user-friendly, and you're actually able to do it now as a new player with aiming 1 or aiming 2. Shotguns are still really, god tier for early game, but now there's a large reticle, like, yay big, like this big on the screen. And the reticle is very, very large when you're low aiming, and it gets smaller when you're high aiming. And you can like actually aim your gun which is very interesting. And they made that a lot better. They made that a lot better. I've not tried it yet, but I saw a little GIF of it, and I was like, okay, that looks clean. And apparently they made it a lot more user-friendly to be able to use things like rifles early game, be able to use things like pistols early game, and not be forced to just use shotgun for the first like 5-6 aiming levels. So very nice, huge update, and completely meta changing for, you know, someone who's played Project Zomboid for a very, very long time, and for people that are new to the game. If you've ever wanted to, you know, you spawn with a pistol, you're in a house with a, you know, a rifle, and you're like, man, I'm never going to use this gun. Now you can actually have a use case for that gun, because it's no longer a random chance that you're just going to completely whiff your shot until you're higher aiming. And also it's a lot more active. The aiming is a lot more active. It's no longer just the green outline and the red outline turning to green, and then you know you're going to nail your shot. It's a bit different now. You can actually aim a little better. Seated animations. This is not something that I'll use too much, but this is something for all of you RP players out there. Or if you want a little bit of flavor, you can sit down on chairs, you can sit down on beds, you can sit down on a whole bunch of objects, and you have a little sitting animation, a little standing animation afterwards. Downside, I've seen the frames of the sitting and standing animation. The frames for the standing animation are really slow. So only sit down if you know you're not going to be having a zombie near you. So you can definitely try to stand up and get bitten when you're trying to stand up, not expecting the zombie to reach you before you stand up. The standing frames are quite long, so just keep that in mind. Corpse dragging and window chucking. So they actually updated how fast you get corpse sickness. Not only that, they added a counterplay to it to basically not get the corpse sickness. So you don't want to kill corpses near your base. You don't want to kill zombies near your base anymore. And if you do, you need to drag them away or throw them out of the window if you're in a multi-story high rise or whatever. Because if you have one corpse near you and you have not taken care of it, moved it, you can get corpse sickness, and that corpse sickness can get you sick and kill you if you're not careful. So they updated that. They made it a lot more deadlier, but they also added it so you can, this is actually a really cool animation. You basically like pick up the corpse from the legs and you can like drag it around and everything. Looks super cool and super clean. And it's really slow, but you know, it's realistic. So I think it works very, very well. Yeah, it's actually really fun. The window checking I've not seen. I've only seen the corpse dragging. More Romero-like zombie spawn locations. Now, the content creators that I've seen, Private Line and so on, they were a bit 50-50 on this. Some of them realized that there was a little bit of a difference. Some of them did not. Basically, it's just like different. Nothing particularly bad, nothing particularly good with the zombie spawn locations. It's just there. And it's just like, you know, they don't really show up in the areas you would expect. One thing that was changed in a positive way, a buff, if you will, for the gameplay, is no longer will you open a door and, you know, 20 zombies are right next to the door. And it'll just like sometimes it feels like it unfairly spawns the zombies right when you open the door. It does that apparently a lot less, which is good. That's good. I think those deaths always suck, and those deaths are always kind of dumb. So honestly, we'll check it out. Well, I'll give you my feel on if I like it, if I dislike it, if I think it's, you know, not realistic enough or whatever. We'll let you know. Now, what they mean by Romero-like, I've watched every John Romero movie. I mean, he's the godfather of zombie movies and the zombie genre, really. So I don't know if that means like, you know, more urban-centered. I don't know exactly what that means, but we'll find out. We'll find out what it means in the context of the game. I know what a context is for Romero movies, but I have no idea what it's like for the game. Okay, improved sneak and combat balance. I don't really know about this. So I don't really use sneak too much. I kind of go in guns blazing and fists blazing or whatever. But yeah, I don't really know how the sneak changed. One thing I do know is that this last one, the combat balance, is absolutely the most negative change of the bunch. Pretty much everything else is all straight W's, but the combat balance is a lot worse. So basically, you have what amounts to proficiency in weapons. And if you're low proficiency in that weapon, your arms will get tired, your legs will get tired for killing zombies. And it is not like normal fatigue. It is more like exercise fatigue, which will make your swings a lot slower and so on and so forth. So that kind of really sucks, in my opinion. I'm not a big fan of this. I know a lot of people are very contentious about this. There was a lot of beta feedback given by the large content creators way back when this was, changed. So we'll see how this, happens. We'll see how it pans out. I'll give my, of course, sheer updates and everything like that. So that is a major issue, apparently. Apparently, this is like most of the big content creators do not like this. Beta feedback. So, yeah, exactly. Well, no, I mean like the pre-beta feedback. So right now we are able to play the game and give the feedback, Ponce, but like it was only like 20 odd, 30 odd, 40 odd content creators that were able to give the pre-beta feedback about these all these big changes. So the other major thing that has changed, by the way, this is a crafting thing. It's not really in here, but you no longer get experience for deconstructing items. So if you deconstruct, a chair for carpentry experience and so on and so forth, you no longer get experience for that. So the experience is really much more, I know, the experience is much more focused on building things as opposed to breaking shit down for, easy experience for electronics. One of the best ways to level electronics when you're low level is to find a computer and, break down the computer, not for parts, just for the electronics experience and so on and so forth. We do this all the time, basically shred houses for carpentry experience. But yeah, they kind of took that out. You can still add it in the options as a multiplier, just like you can for physical experience multiplier and so on and so forth. Like you always can, change pretty much almost every single thing in the game. You can still add that back in, but by default, deconstruction experience is off. So not a big fan of that, but that's okay. I totally get it. They kind of want to incentivize people to build things and test that out, and maybe they'll add it in later. Now, those are all the things that launch. For later on, yeah, exactly. Darkshade makes a good point. He says, maybe that's more realistic because if dismantling computers made you good at them, your 14-year-old self would have been a prodigy. There you go. Well, no, I mean, to be fair, if you're dismantling a computer, you at least figure out what a microchip looks like. You can at least like see it. You don't get that much experience from it, but you got some technically, right? So I don't know. I kind of like that you got a little bit. Maybe they should have toned down the experience you get for dismantling, but maybe they should leave it in, like, have it or quarter it, and that might be a better like balance change. But it's still it's completely out now, and you can add it in at your own leisure. However, the crafting, while it hasn't been expanded, it's not fully complete. They've been very open about that, the devs. They said they wanted to give us Build 42 before the year ended, and in that, the extra skills and professions and crafting that they'll be adding that as the updates happen for Build 42. So they're not going to hold back Build 42 just to add special things in it. Dismantling earbuds, yeah, exactly. I don't know if that'll still not give you experience. I have no idea. Earbuds was the way that I would level up electronics to be able to hotwire cars. Exactly. Yup, exactly, Biomatic. It looks like that won't do it anymore. We'll see how it goes, though. We'll see how it goes. I heard, though, Blindomatic, that when they expanded the new crafting, they added ways to craft low-level items for pretty much everything. So basically you dismantle for parts and then you craft to actually get experience, and they added a whole bunch of low-level crafting to really give you a leg up on the early game, so you don't have to dismantle things for experience. That's what they're going for. We'll see if that is good balance or bad balance or what. Hunting will be further improved later on. Metal fences will be breakable later on, so right now they're not, but later on they will be. If you do install Build 42, Keep in mind, guys, there is no multiplayer right now. They didn't want to, hold it back to make sure everything was optimized for multiplayer and so on and so forth. They decided to just release Build 42 all for us solo players, and then they'll re-add multiplayer later on. The other thing that you should know as well is that what was I looking for? Mods obviously will be broken. So this is an obvious one, but none of your mods will really work for Build 42 until each mod maker updates the mod specifically for Build 42, which will probably take a while for certain mods and probably go really fast for other ones. Like something like a Louisville spawn point will be a very quick mod. Something like, adding multiplayer. There might be a mod for that in a week, but I don't expect that mod to be there anytime soon. So there you go. That's pretty much all of the update. I'm really excited for this. I'm really excited for this. Oh yeah, here we go. Here's what they say. Here we go. Unstable for Mac, so it's not for Mac yet. It'll probably be around New Year. Don't play on a Steam Deck. It's still work in progress. You can try it, but it's not recommended. Multiplayer will be enabled during the unstable beta process, so that means multiplayer is a priority for them. They'll be trying to fix that and allow us to be able to play update 42, build 42 all together relatively soon. So that's really nice. It'll also go out to GOG very soon. It's not available for them yet. It's just on Steam right now. Are there any changes to the traits? I have no idea. No clue. They're going to be, they already said that they focused a lot more on all the other stuff. Skills, professions, traits, all that will be fixed, added, balanced, and so on as the build goes on. They didn't want to hold back the major changes for the small ones, essentially Blindomatic. So maybe they did slip some in. Maybe they did do some balancing. We'll find that out tomorrow. But I'm not exactly sure. They did, change experience gain, ingredients, they're all changed. So if you were used to certain ingredients for certain things beforehand, these are all different now. Also the crafting UI, the crafting building UI is also much updated. So now you can make brick buildings, brick walls, and so on and so forth. You can add stone. You can do all kinds of different materials for all the building you do in the game, which is really nice. Beforehand, it was kind of like just, carpentry and then metalworking. So they added a whole bunch of other things in between as well, which is really nice. Really cool. And very awesome addition. Gwez Dewey, my friend, welcome to the stream. Welcome to Corey Crew. It's good to see you. Good to have you in here. They nerfed it. Good. Yeah, I mean, the asthmatic smoker build was kind of like the best way to go. So it's good that they changed that because, I've played this game for like 1,000 hours plus. And so I'm used to playing, in certain different ways. So changing that up and making changes and stuff, I think those are only a good thing. I actually hope that they nerfed all of our favorite things. I hope that they, added other things to do, other, traits that we could take and so on. That would be really cool. So we make new builds and stuff. I would love to do that. But I'm glad they changed it. I am very worried about the combat update because it looks like they made combat like much less user-friendly. So we'll see how that goes. That is a thing that we have to feel out and figure out if it's good, bad, or ugly. I heard very 50-50 opinions on that. But pretty much universally, everything else has been positive. Everyone has been super positive about almost every single other change, which is nice, which is a really good thing. That means they basically knocked it out of the park. Super immersive. Yeah, they basically updated the immersion. Absolutely. Better tooltips, more icons, that's good. These are the things they'll be focusing on. So if we're not getting enough experience for building, low-level items, they're probably going to fix that. These are things that they're looking at. But yeah, let's see. A focus for us during Unstable will be hunting. Currently, deer migrate over the map along paths preordained at the game's start, and they leave poop and broken twigs for the tracking skill to follow. Ah, that's cool. Okay, I'm excited about that. Rudiments are fun enough. A more Call of the Wild feeling We're going to have to give the deer their deaths and the tracking. Yeah, the deer can just kind of flop over when you kill them, so it's kind of just silly, but it's not really a big deal. Not really a big deal, and they're going to fix that. So the ballistic system, shooting at crawlers and stairs is rough. It always has been, to be fair. So the fact that this is rough is not a surprise. Everyone who plays Project Zomboid a lot knows if you want to kill a zombie and you don't want to die, don't be on stairs. And so this is the same. Yeah, so there's a top priority. There's a bug for the M16. If you use it, you can cause a crash. So be careful about that. Search bar's a little broken. They're going to fix that. These are the known issues. I'm just going to go over them so you guys know. Recipes can use items instead of values. Oh. That's weird. Okay, I don't know about that. Batteries behave oddly. Don't know what that means, but that's okay. Not a big deal. The tile properties from view player build constructions need to be set up, and some movables cannot be picked up. That's okay. These are things that they're just going to add in the game and fix it as the game goes on. You cannot disassemble movable objects. Ooh, okay. If you find a TV, bring it to base, you want to get rid of it, you can no longer disassemble it and reclaim your resources. So just keep that in mind, guys. Just keep that in mind. Some clipping animations, not a big deal. Improvements required for turning animation while grabbing. Ooh, okay. Shoving plays after dropping corpses. Okay, that's just a minor nitpick, but that's not too big of a deal. That's it. Basically, that is the entire update. Are you guys excited for Build 42? This is actually my first Project Zomboid video ever. So hopefully you guys liked it. Try to give my own, information, what I've seen, because I followed these devs very, very closely on their forums and everything. This is my favorite survival game of all time. So I have a lot of love for this game. I'm super, super excited for this. I'm super, super excited for the updates. I can tell you my favorite things so far from what I've seen, just from what I've seen, and I've seen everything. The basements and underground areas are super cool. I love the small immersion improvements with the newspapers, flyers, and environmental storytelling. They've showcased a little bit of that here and there. That is super awesome. Huge fan of the performance optimization. I love that. And the dynamic lighting is so freaking cool. Oh my God, it's so atmospheric. It is so clean. So huge fan of that. And I like that you can have a fully wilderness playthrough. It is very much like if the entire, world goes to hell, a 10 years later mod or whatever, 1 year later mod or whatever, and, all electricity is out, all this is out, all water is out, and so on and so forth. You can actually make that run work a lot more by doing things like bone crafting, stone crafting, things like that. So I'm excited for that. I'm very, very excited for that. And also, better and more intricate and not AFK fishing, because up until now fishing has been completely AFK. So a big nerf for food, but also a big buff for immersion and having fun in the game. So I'm very happy about that. And the gameplay for the gunplay looks really good as well. So those are the things I'm most looking forward to. The thing I'm worried about the most is the combat. How brutal is the arm fatigue for swinging a hammer? I hope it's not too bad, because combat is one of my favorite things in the game, and we might have to tone that down ourselves until that is fixed, if it's too bad. Because a lot of the beta testers the pre-beta testers that were able to play the game said that this was their least favorite change, bar none. So we'll see how it goes. Very excited. And what are you looking forward to? Let me know in the comments below. If you like this video, give this video a like, give it a sub, share with your friends. We've done 300 videos of all kinds of other games, but this is my first Project Zomboid video, so give it some serious love, guys, and hopefully I'll be able to create some more awesome ones for you guys very soon. Thank you guys for your love, and to catch you guys in the next video, we'll definitely be getting some Build 42 gameplay up very soon. I'll be playing it for the first time tomorrow in just a few short hours, so I'm extremely excited about it. Take care, my friends. See you in the next video.